children, I welcome you to today's radio learning program. This is Teacher Mary, and I will be teaching you social studies specifically for P4. Our dear parents, please support our children. You could check their work to see if they are doing it correctly. So children, are you ready for today's lesson? Do you have your notebooks and pens ready? You could get them out. You will be writing some notes and exercises in your notebooks. So children, who remembers what we learned in the last lesson? What did we learn in the last lesson? Okay, children, we learned about a need and a want. And we said a need is something you should have so as to live and be safe, like food, water, and clothes. While a want is something you wish you had or something you desire. We also learned about the different activities we can do to generate income. So that is what we learned in the last lesson.
Come along and play with us.
Today, we are going to learn about the circumstances that affect people, how they spend money, and why it is important to save money. How do people spend money? And why is it important to save money? And remember, in the last lesson, we learned about the activities that people do so as to raise money. People can sell fish. People can do businesses. People can have unemployment so as to raise money. So now, what are those circumstances that affect people on how they spend their money and how they save it? You could find this in the SST textbook for P4 on page 44. Check on page 44. So children, you know very well how you spend money depends on so many things. One of them, what are your needs and wants? Children, you should know that people have different wants and needs. Another thing that affects people on how they spend money is what are the family needs and wants. Families have different needs and wants, so it will affect them on how they spend their money. Also, people spend their money depending on where they live. We have people who live in villages. They may not need to spend money on food, because we have a lot of food in the villages. But people in town, they can spend money on food because they may not be able to get food easily from the gardens. Also, people spend money depending on how much things cost. We have some things which are expensive, which will cost a lot of money, and people who do not have a lot of money may not be able to buy those things. So people will spend money depending on how things cost. So we also said we are going to look at why is it important to save money? Why do you think people should save money? Everybody has to save money. Even you children, you need to save some money, because you will need money in future, you may need it for things that are emergencies. An emergency is something that happens abruptly, something you have not prepared for. But if you have saved money, you are able to use that money. So, there are so many reasons why people should save money. 1, it is not good to waste it. Whenever you get some little money, you need to save some and use little. So, if you save some little money, you have not wasted it. Also, plan before you spend money. Whenever you save your money, you are able to plan very well before you spend it, because you have already kept it somewhere. Then you make a budget on how to use that money. And another thing, money should be valued. When you get money, you need to give it value. And on giving it value, that is when you save it somewhere. In that way, you have valued the money. Also, saving money, it is going to help you to find something that costs less money. If you're to buy certain items, you will take your time. You will be able to find out something that costs less money. So now, children, we have said that it is important to save money. But you may ask yourself a question. As young children, or even as old people, how can they be able to save money? Where can they save it? So children, I ask you, how do you save your money? So, how can we save our money? You can put money in the bank. We have so many banks in Rwanda. You can get your money, collect it, and save it in the bank. And a bank is a safe place where you can keep that money. In fact, it is the safest. It is always safe to keep money in the bank. And also, young children, you can put your money in a money box. There are some boxes you can buy, others you can make. Put and save little money. Also, you could give your money to the trusted elders. There are people who are older than us who can be able to save our money, and they give it to us when we need it most. So children, it is always important to save money. And you can save it in the bank. You can have a money box. You can also give it to trusted elders.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, children. Can you all stand up and we do a very interesting warm-up? We are going to put our hands together, both hands, and we shall be swinging them to the left, to the right. You swing them to the left, to the right, when they are together. Are you ready? Let's go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So rowing the boat, it is when you're on the water, you're swinging the stick on the right and on the left. So that is how we are doing it. Can we do it the last time? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Well done, children. Can you sit down? We are now going to continue our lesson. We are going to learn about civics and governance. we are going to look at civics and governance. But in particular, we shall look at the national symbols. So, what is a symbol? What do you understand by a symbol? This is what a symbol is. A symbol is a mark or a picture that represents or stands for something else. It is a mark or picture that represents or stands for something else. Whenever we see any symbol, it means something to us. For example, we have football teams. Football teams always have a certain symbol on their shirts, and whoever sees that t-shirt will know which football team it is. So, all countries have symbols or emblems. We can call them symbols or emblems. And these tell the world something about them. So, some of the symbols are the national flag and the national coat of arms. We have the national flag and the national coat of arms. And now, what is a national coat of arms? And what does it mean? A national coat of arms means something to the people living in a country. People are always proud of their national coat of arms. For example, in Rwanda, the national coat of arms has many parts, and each part of it is very important, and it has an important meaning. They stand for values or goals that Rwanda wants to achieve. So children, can you take some time and think about the Rwandan coat of arms? And think about the symbols that we have there. Can you write them in your notebooks? Well done, children. And please, parents, can you help our children to support them to find out if they are writing the answers correctly? Thank you, our parents. So these are the different symbols we find on the national coat of arms of Rwanda specifically. We find a motto. We also have green ring with a knot, the sun, there is sorghum and coffee. We find there a basket, a cogwheel on the coat of arms, and also shields. I repeat all the symbols that we find on the Rwandan coat of arms. We find a motto, then green ring with a knot, there is the sun, the sorghum and coffee, a basket, cogwheel, and the shields.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, children. Now, we are going to look at what do these symbols represent, or what do they mean to Rwanda. So the motto on the Rwandan coat of arms is written in this way. Ubumwe in English is unity. Umurimo, and in English is work. Gukunda igihugu, patriotism. So the motto is Ubumwe, umurimo, gukunda igihugu. That is the motto written on the Rwandan coat of arms. We also find the green ring with a knot. It represents development through hard work. Development through hard work. So Rwanda requires all the people to work very hard so as to develop. We also find the sun, which represents transparency and enlightenment. We also find the sorghum and coffee. What do they represent? Diversified agricultural production. They represent diversified agricultural production. That is sorghum and coffee. We also find a basket. It represents Rwandan culture of saving, solidarity, and sharing. The basket on the Rwandan coat of arms represents the Rwandan culture of saving, solidarity, and sharing. Next, we also find the cogwheel. Cogwheel. It represents science and technology and industrial development. The cogwheel represents science and technology and industrial development. Then the shields that we find on the Rwandan coat of arms, they represent patriotism for all the Rwandans, defense of the national sovereignty, integrity, and justice. The shields that we find on the Rwandan coat of arms, they represent patriotism, defense of the national sovereignty, integrity, and justice. So all these symbols that we mentioned, we find them on the Rwandan coat of arms. Let me mention the symbols again. We find the motto, the green ring with a knot. We also find there the sun. We find there sorghum and coffee. We also find there the basket. We also find there the cogwheel and also the shields. So those are the things we find on the Rwandan coat of arms. Children, we also need to note that other countries have their coat of arms, and we all need to respect the national coat of arms of other countries because they are very important to them. So I have a practical question for you. Children, you're going to draw a picture of the Rwandan coat of arms. You will draw it in your notebooks and draw all the symbols that I mentioned here. Draw it very well in your notebooks and show it to your parents. So as we conclude this lesson, I'm going to summarize what we learned in this lesson. We learned about circumstances that affect people, how they spend money, and how to save money. And we have also learned about symbols. And specifically, we learned about the coat of arms. And we also looked at the symbols we find on the Rwandan coat of arms. So children, thank you so much for paying attention. And please, parents, continue supporting our children. So I hope to see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.